You are listening to Series 1 of the National Studios Film and Music Podcast. In this season, we're focusing on the marketing side of independent music, the steps you can take to ensure a successful release and begin building a fan base in an authentic and organic way. In episode 4, we talk about how your music translates into the real world. Hi, my name is Jack Kircher with National Studios. I'm again joined by Alex and Maddy.
Hey.
These guys are the real deal, and I hope you've been enjoying the podcast so far. Last episode, we looked at Spotify and the algorithms and like the digital side of what music is, and kind of came to the conclusion that Spotify, Apple Music are more about discovery than earning money. We were just talking after that episode a little bit about what marketing and kind of the money side of all of it, what that actually looks like practically. Like, you can't say, here's £10,000 we're putting into marketing. You're not going to earn that back in terms of digital revenue, at least not straight away. Like, it's more of a long game. Yeah. So I just wanted to touch up and kind of start this episode talking about the physical side of music. So that is a way where you can earn a good amount of money and you can support yourself. And you can also, more importantly, engage with your fans and have a really good time.
Yeah, I mean, when someone kind of spends a lot of money on their marketing and obviously the creation of the music, the digital streaming, you're not going to see that money back. You might eventually in the long term if you are kind of gradually growing. But at the end of the day, that platform is for discovery and to grow your fan base. But Spotify does work really well, kind of pushing other forms of income. So Spotify works with places like Ticketmaster. So you can literally put your gig on your Spotify page. So that's such an easy link to sort of start selling tickets, because most people are going to discover you on Spotify now. And if they're not that big a fan yet, so they haven't followed you on socials, they're not going to know anything more about you. But they click on your profile, or they might even be notified by email that you've got a gig coming up. That's another form of income that was probably not before possible, because how were they meant to know that you had a gig?
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the easiest ways to start making money, because you get to grow your fan base and start kind of having a relationship with them while kind of making money from the ticket sales themselves. But in the early stages, obviously that's not something that people are expecting, payment for gigs. It's just growing your fan base, but you will see it coming along in time.
Yeah, I think it really that shows how important it is to have a loyal, engaged fan base. I think a lot of artists say, okay, I want to be one of the biggest artists in the UK. I want to have 10 million streams. And we've seen artists have 1 million streams on Spotify and no engagement on social media. They've just managed to get picked up by the algorithm, and that's it. And no one shows up to their gigs because they kind of only had one track that was listened to. You need to have a constantly engaged, loyal audience who are going to show up to your gigs. And if earning a living is what you want, it's those people who are going to pay your rent. So having constantly engaged, loyal audiences who don't come to your gigs and buy your merch and even help you out in other ways.
Yeah. So like merch is a really, really good one to go down, because that is a way you can start kind of getting an income and seeing it kind of come through. But again, you do see artists quite often take advantage of this really early on. They get a set amount of streams on Spotify, or they see that they've got a couple of thousand followers on socials, and they immediately create a t-shirt with their band name on and try and shove it in their faces. People don't really want that. They don't want to have your band name plastered across their chest, because
there's always a huge temptation.
It's a bit embarrassing for them as well.
Made with your brand on it.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've wanted a Burstimo hoodie or t-shirt, and then Maddy's been like, "Don't be stupid," because that's kind of your first instinct when you build a brand. You want to get it out there.
It's something you're proud of. Like.
Yeah, exactly. And as an artist, you have a fan base, so you think, okay, they love me, they love my music, so they'll love to wear something that has my name on it. But that's a really big step for someone. Someone wearing a t-shirt with your name across it is really bold. Like, you don't see people walking down the street wearing kind of t-shirts that aren't major brands. Like you see Vans, you see Hollister, you'll see things like that. You quite often don't see people wearing like a massive logo across their t-shirt that isn't a big brand. And it's the same for artists. Not often are people wearing t-shirts with indie band names on. They're going to be the big bands.
I think what artists have to think about is what makes someone purchase their merch, and it's not necessarily about how good the music is. So you could have the best song in the world that doesn't want to make people buy a t-shirt and spread it, but if you've got a relationship with a band or a brand, then that's what makes you want to kind of wave the flag for them, essentially.
And if it's like a killer top, like something you really like.
Exactly. You
Like,
have to sort of
think
create.
of it again, it's like thinking of something from an artistic point of view, not a practical point of view. Like we're talking a lot about business side of music and all of that stuff. And like you can earn money from shows and things like that. But it always comes back to like you as an artist, you get to control what your show is like.
Yeah.
Like with the Dutch Kid stuff, we're thinking as much about lighting as we are about music, because they're both equally important in how people experience it. When it comes to merch, we're starting to get to the point where we're thinking as much about like we want to make something cool that people would wear, not something with our brand on it. The brand might literally just be on the logo. So when someone's like, oh, where'd you get that top from? It's like, oh, it's a Dutch Kid top. It's as much about the value of the quality of the artistry and the item as it is like trying to sell merch.
You want someone to buy the t-shirt because they like the t-shirt and not always because they like the music. And it's the same with other forms of content. You can create some visual content, you can create like a documentary style video and people may watch it, but they may not have watched your music video because it's not as interesting to them. So sometimes you have to sort of step outside of the music to actually see kind of some form of an income, because people want to know you personally and get to know you personally, have something a little bit outside of the music.
I think the key word there you said is personally as well. And the reason that you see YouTubers absolutely killing the merch game is not because their videos are good, it's because you feel like you know them and you want more of them in your life. So you watch a daily vlogger and you followed their life on a daily basis for the last year, you actually feel like you know them as a person. So
true.
When they say come buy my merch, you kind of are tempted because you know what kind of is involved. You feel like you know them. You want basically to
and that's the same with sort of like Patreon and all things like that. People won't be saying, oh, I'm giving you money because I like your music so much. It's often they do, but it's mainly because they like you as a person. That's why YouTubers will have Patreon pages and people will give them money because they they obviously want to see more content, but they would just like the individual and they want to help them. And it's the exact same for musicians. If you have like a Patreon page and you're giving back to your artist, you'll say like, if you give us £50, we'll like do you a personalized song. Quite often a person will be like, that's really nice gesture, they seem like nice people, I want them to develop and grow, here's some money.
So cool. It's like there's two sides. Like there's this personal side and then there's this like quality of the item, like something I would like. So if you approach it from a merch standpoint, there's this, I really love this band and I want to wear something Dutch Kid. Like I want to feel part of this brand. I personally love this and I love what they stand for. That's a route in for someone to purchase. And then you got the other side of it, which is like, I just love that t-shirt. You could walk into a clothing store and I want to buy that t-shirt, you know, or I want to buy that hoodie or whatever piece of merch it is. Like, I think merch that's done badly is like, we're going to buy some mugs and we're going to put a logo on it. Like that might appeal to the personal side of it.
Your mum.
It would literally be a parent.
But actually like, there's this other side where it's like you want really good quality and you want to value
take
that.
A close look at the YouTubers model and go on their merch pages, because they do not sell their YouTube channel title on t-shirts. They sell catchphrases, they sell things that have appeared, maybe like items that have appeared. Maybe they picked something like a gimmick item up at an airport or something like that. Like I'm thinking of David Dobrik with his pair of sunglasses, and then they kept appearing again and again in vlogs, and then he sold them as an item on the merch store to make
it's the same as Fickle Friends at the moment. They've created their whole brand at the moment is like kind of summery with the palm trees.
Palm tree stuff.
They now have palm tree water bottles. They sell at their merch stand.
That's perfect.
And let's be honest, they probably buy them for like £2.50. And I don't know how much they sell them for.
From China, like
they're probably about £1. And they probably
people know.
I don't know how much they sell them for. They could sell them for £10 upwards, and people would spend money.
Actually, there's something cool about like drinking, like you're part of it. You're like, that's on stage and it's out here and I'm holding it.
You're part of the band in a way. And that's something that's outside of the music. Again, they've created their brand and they've kept to their brand and kept the merch within it. And you see that with people that are doing well with merch, do that all the time. There's the Hunter have done a collaboration with P&Co, who are a kind of big rock fashion line, and their merch isn't just them. It's something so different that even if you don't know them, you'll be like, oh, I'd buy that t-shirt.
I think actually on that topic as well, because we're talking about income streams, brand collaborations and sponsorships, when you get that audience again, you've got that loyal audience, you can prove the engagement is there, you're starting to sell merch of your own. suddenly large clothing brands themselves start to come in and offer you things, offer you deals, offer you affiliate links. They pay you money to wear their clothes on stage.
And even if they don't pay you money directly, so say you got a kind of brand deal with Levi or something, they might give you a ton of free jeans, jackets and all things like that. And they may not pay you for that. They may just say, oh, we'll help you with publicity. But that's where your money will come in. It's free publicity for one. And also you get associated with them, which can push you to a brand new audience, which could mean income from that new audience.
As you grow, then like you renegotiate. Like renegotiation of these things happens all the time.
Exactly.
Like, and there's something really special about like finding the brands you believe in, and you can approach them. And like I'm a drummer, I could approach Ludwig, and you know, if something could come off the back of it, nothing might come off the back of it. But you never know. Like there's something nice about working with brands you trust.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like to wrap this side of things up, and you transition to like physical media shows and things like that, like what would be kind of a few tips in that? Like what few things would you say are really important? So if I just start whilst you guys think, I would say if you're like transitioning to live shows, like treat that live show, like every element of it with respect. Like don't just, this isn't just about the songs, but it's about the experience of it.
Yeah.
And be thankful for every single individual who showed up to that 100%. Room. Like they are your fans and they are the people who will share your music. So if every single person in that room shared your music to 5 individuals, then you're eventually going to multiply your audience.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands take for granted those who actually do show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this all goes without saying, but like at an early stage in your career, you're not going to be expecting to earn lots of money from it.
Absolutely not.
Like even doing shows, like we're talking about royalties and like financing things and merch. Like this all starts small. Like you will struggle to make money from this for quite a long time. But like if you put the work in early, you'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. The key question is if there was never any money in it ever, would you still do it? If the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is no, then it's not for you.